Incredibly evil, though.
Are we on Earth? Are we a hologram? Where does the darkness end? Do you want to believe anything is possible on Mani's Rockin Conspiracies, the craziest show in the mountains? Tune in to WWCU-FM every Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. for your favorite conspiracies. The answer to 1984 is Mani's Rockin Conspiracies.
Some people asked me on social media, or actually non-social media, out in person, Manny, what did you do for your fall break? Well, I found out about a conspiracy that's been spread about me. And I tried to contact the Chupacabra. All that and more. Here on the craziest show in the mountains, Mani's Rockin Conspiracy starts right now. Live from the campus of Western Carolina University in Cullowhee, it's time for the craziest show in the mountains. I'm talking none other than Mani's Rockin Conspiracies, broadcasting throughout Western North Carolina on WWCU-FM 90.5, the broadcast service of Western Carolina University in Cullowhee, and worldwide all the time on WWCU-FM.com. I'm your host. It's that Manny guy, Mani Jones, the crazy derg, you know, here on the craziest show in the mountains, Mani's Rockin Conspiracies. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday, October 20th, and hope you had a fantastic fall break. To those that did have one, whether you're at Western Carolina University, Southwestern Community College, wherever you may be, hope you had a fantastic fall break. It'll be 2 years from now that I'll have to remember my fall break, because after that I'm graduating. 2 years. 2 years to go. On today's show, we are continuing our Cryptid-tober events. We are discussing in the first hour the elusive Chupacabra, whose name translated means goat sucker. It is a known cryptid that allegedly has sucked the blood from goats. That's how it got its name. Or as it was referred to in the web series Red vs. Blue, hey Griff, Chupathingy, how about that? It's got a nice ring to it. And in the second hour, we cover current news in the world of the conspiracies and the supernatural, such as a Malaysian astronaut debunking the flat earth, Bigfoot news all around North Carolina, especially Western North Carolina. Something about the Hong Kong protests might have been started by the CIA, gold and aliens, and something about the NFL being run by the mob. Well then, all sorts of crazy things here on the craziest show in the mountains. But first, I need to go through a conspiracy that somebody raised about me over break. A listener of the show and a good friend of mine, Gradus, he once sent me a picture, and it said, Manny, you remind me of someone. Now, what was this picture? None other than the conductor from the Polar Express. I quickly tweeted a picture of myself and the conductor saying, I am not the conductor from the Polar Express. This is a conspiracy. However, there are people that are convinced that I am the conductor hundreds of times, and I was in the movie. Well, this conspiracy can no longer stand, and I need to go through it because now I'm getting asked to go as the conductor for this upcoming Halloween. Let me just say that I, Mani Jones, am not the conductor from the Polar Express. As my friend Isaac may say, I am a potential Ned Flanders in the making, great googly moogly, but I am no conductor. The first things first, I am not Tom Hanks, and I do not sound like Tom Hanks. Maybe I could try. Boss, look at alien! I'll let you be the judge of if I am a Tom Hanks. So, first of all, I'm not Tom Hanks. I think that's clear. Tom Hanks is way older than me, and I'm a junior in college. The second thing, the conductor has considerably less hair. Now, I don't mean to insult anybody that may be losing their hair. That does suck, if you will. But if you look at the studio webcam here on WWCU-FM.com, I have considerably more hair. And in that one scene where the conductor is taking his hat off, you could see he doesn't have much hair there. That's it. I could also say I have never met Saint Nick. I did tell a conspiracy about him last year, and that resulted in, well, didn't really get much. I did get an Illuminati handbook in my stocking, but that was it. I have never met Saint Nick, Santa Claus, or any of his elves or workers. I did hope he liked my cookies this last year. The only evidence, and I mean the only evidence that this is somehow a conspiracy is my mustache. That's it. It's my mustache. It's always the mustache. My dad and I were in a FaceTime conversation a couple of days ago, and he said, "Why are you going to mustache for? It's not Mustache November yet." Why is everybody trying to find conspiracies in my mustache or anything about my mustache? Why? Why? I don't know why anymore. I just wanted to have a nice mustache. Ron Swanson has an amazing mustache. He's an amazing role model. I wanted to have a mustache like Ron Swanson to fit my Swanson pyramid of greatness. I just wanted to have a good one. Why are people getting on me for my mustache? I'm not the conductor from the Polar Express. I'm not Simon Gotch from WWE. I am Mani Jones. I am the crazy Dirk you know. I'm alive. I'm here. My heart's big. It's got blood going through it fast. This is a Manny. This is what I look like. This is what I act like. I'm here on WWCU-FM.com. Oh, yeah. It's not a conspiracy that Mani Jones, yeah. He's not the conductor of the Polar Express, yeah. Well, you know something, brother. Let's get out of my impressions for a second. I am not the conductor from the Polar Express. It is as simple as that. Maybe my grandmother's cat is watching me right now to try and see what I'm saying. Meow, meow. Manny is in the Illuminati. Meow, meow. Which is not true, by the way. I am also not in the Illuminati. Not true by anything. I'm not in a good mood now. I just have to think about the conductor. It's like, why do I have to be connected to you? Do people expect Mani Jones to be walking around campus going, well, are you coming? This is the Polar Express. Wait a second, I do sound a little bit like that. Wait, no, this is not true. This is not true. No, this is no. Okay. I'm going to try and calm down. If you want to keep up with anything that's happening with me, whether it's through fall break, spring break, winter break, or anytime during the week, check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Mani Radio Derg. You won't regret it. Lots of fun stuff. But let's kick it to the music. From their album, See You on the Other Side, released in 2005. Hey, that rhymes. This is Korn with Coming Undone. You're listening to Mani's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University. Welcome back to Mani's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University. Welcome again. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday evening. Already, there are a lot of reactions to the idea that somehow I am the Polar Express conductor. Someone saw the link to my show by the name of Rez. He said, what conspiracy could there be? And I told him the conspiracy. He responded with a little bit of a laughing sort of emoji that they use on the internet. And this other person, John Davies, said, you aren't Tom Hanks, but you sound like, no, I am not the conductor. I am not the conductor. Please. It is a conspiracy. The idea that Mani Jones is somehow the conductor does not sound right. You see, I know this. I'm Jesse Ventura, and this is conspiracy theory. The mustache alone does not mean that Mani Jones is somehow the conductor. It means he's something else. He's just Mani Jones. Jesse Ventura. That man. Secrets, favors, cover-ups. I love that man. I could meme for a long time. That man. Whew. All right. Let's get back to the conspiracies, if you will. In the first hour, we're discussing the Chupacabra. Now, the Chupacabra is an odd creature existing mainly in Latin American folklore and Puerto Rico, but also haven't been seen as far as Maine, Chile, even in places like Russia, the motherland as some might refer to it as, or the Philippines, and India, which was the most recent sightings that I know of. Excuse me. Now, the Chupacabra is described as a heavy creature, size of a small bear, with a row of spines that reach down from the neck to the base of its tail. Now, the name itself means goat sucker. It's a combination word, which is chupar, to suck, and cabra, which is goat. So, it's this odd-looking creature. The picture that they have on Wikipedia, which is an artist depiction of 1995, is a creature with an alien-looking head and this vampire-like teeth. It look a little vampiric-like. It's rather interesting. Now, I really got into talking about the Chupacabra because I went on a ghost tour in Asheville. Pretty nice tour. It ends in like this cool museum, and they had a Chupacabra head. It was pretty cool. You can see it on my Twitter at Mani Radio Dirk if you want to check it out. It was pretty cool. They also had Art Bell's old alien friend Carville, which was a gift from Rush Limbaugh to Art Bell. And seeing that was so cool because, as I like to say, without Art Bell and Coast to Coast AM, there would be no Mani Jones. The Chupacabra, though, it's perhaps one of the most recent cryptids, having its first sighting been in March of 1995. 8 sheep were discovered dead with 3 puncture wounds in the chest area and completely drained of blood. And then a few months later in August, an eyewitness by the name of Madeline Tolentino reported seeing the creature in the Puerto Rican town of Canovanas when as many as 150 farm animals and pets were killed. And in 1975, there were very similar killings that happened in the town of Moca, which were attributed to El Vampiro de Moca, the vampire of Moca. And it was reported initially that it was a satanic cult. And each animal that was found, it had its body bled dry through a series of small circular incisions. Now, the term Chupacabra came from a Puerto Rican entrepreneur by the name of Silverio Perez. He coined the term after the first couple of incidents. And then, after these first sightings in Puerto Rico, other sightings were reported in the Dominican Republic, Argentina, Bolivia, Colombia, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, Brazil, the United States, and Mexico. Now, the most recent sightings were in October and December of 2018 in the town of Manipur, India. Oh, wait, hold on. Manipur, India. I have never been outside of the continental United States, so nice name. There became many reports from Manipur, India about many domestic animals and poultry being killed in a suspicious manner that was very similar to the Chupacabra. And many people reported they had seen the Chupacabra with their own eyes, to quote Darth Vader, with my own eyes. Forensic experts, however, disputed that. They later said that there was no any aspect of Chupacabra, but street dogs were responsible for mass killing the domestic animals and poultry after studying the remnant of corpse. So that's all the basics regarding the elusive Chupacabra. And there's still plenty more to get into about this rather interesting thing. And another question here from Rez. The question Rez came out asked a question about Chupacabra. We'll answer that really quick before we go any further with the music. Rez asked, the question is, why does the Chupacabra only bother Spanish-speaking or close to that language people? Well, that's an interesting thing, you know. Some cryptids, Rez, they're just known to be in a certain area because that area is fit for that cryptid. That's why there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings in the western North Carolina mountains lately, because it's just a perfect place for him to be. Like here, I think the Pacific Northwest are just perfect locations for Bigfoot, for example. Perhaps Puerto Rico or Central America and some of the southwestern United States are just the right location for a Chupacabra. Oh, so maybe that's my idea, Raz. But what do you think? Give me a call. 828-227-7173. That's 828-227-7173. Hopefully the Illuminati comprised of cats is not listening. And if so, hope those cats are having a fantastic day, because that's my fan club. My fan club is all cats. Hey, they like Mani Jones. Let's kick it real quick to the music. This is Rochambeau by The Network. Rumor has it it's a conspiracy that this band is Green Day. Why don't you give it a listen and judge it for yourself? This is Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, the craziest show in the mountain, only on 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University. Thank you for tuning in so far. We are halfway through the first hour, 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed the past 2 segments, we were discussing the Chupacabra. which is a creature that is inhabiting mainly Central America and is known for apparently sucking the blood out of livestock, like a vampire, if you will. We discussed the origins and the most recent sightings that I know of, which were in November and December of 2018 in India. So it's been quite all over the world, if you will. Excuse me. It was started in Puerto Rico, then it went to Honduras, Chile, even as far as Maine. It's all over the country almost. So, with every cryptid, however, there are doubts of its existence or possible other theories. So, here's where it gets interesting. The first issue with the Chupacabra is that the reports of blood sucking by the Chupacabra have been never confirmed by a necropsy, which is the only way to conclude that the animal was drained of blood. An analysis by a veterinarian of all the 300 reported victims found that they were not bled dry. To back this up, a University of Michigan biologist by the name of Barry O'Connor, he concluded in a paper, that the Chupacabra reports in the United States were simply coyotes infected with a parasite. The symptoms of this parasite would apparently explain most of the features of Chupacabra. They would be left with little fur, thickened skin, and a bad odor. And he theorized that the attacks on goats were because these animals were, to quote him, greatly weakened. They're going to have a hard time hunting. So they may be forced into attacking livestock because it's easier than running down a rabbit or a deer. A big study came out from Benjamin Radford. And he made a book called Tracking the Chupacabra. Now, his conclusion was interesting. Do you remember Madeline Tolentino? She was the original eyewitness in 1995 of the Chupacabra. However, Mr. Radford concluded that Tolentino's description was based on the creature Syl from the 1995 science fiction film Species. The study later said that Syl was nearly identical to Tolentino's Chupacabra eyewitness account. And actually, she had seen the movie the night before her report. He was quoted saying it was a I can't English today. She was quoted as saying Radford believed that what is wrong with me today? She more or less believed that the creatures and events she saw in Species were happening in reality in Puerto Rico at the time, and she then concluded that the most important Chupacabra description. My goodness, I'm all over the place. So let me try and calm down for a second. Tolentino said in her report that it was a creature that looked like the Chupacabra with spines on its back and all. The resemblance of Chupacabra is really impressive. And Tolentino is referring to the Syl in Species in the Chupacabra. So Radford then says that Tolentino believed that the creatures and events she saw in Species were happening in reality in Puerto Rico at the time. He then concluded by saying the most important Chupacabra description cannot be trusted. So this, to Mr. Radford, makes him believe that it undermines the credibility of the Chupacabra as a real animal. It's rather unique, but again, what do you think? I actually tried to contact the Chupacabra to appear on the show, but I never got back from the Chupacabra. It also may have been a problem considering that our mic stands, we'd have to really lower our mic stands, and I would not be able to see him over the board. The Chupacabra is, after all, reported to be 3 to 4 feet tall and hops like a kangaroo. So the Chupacabra could fit in the studio, but it's a little unlikely if he or she would be able to be interviewed. I don't know if I could speak Chupacabras or maybe, I don't know. Though I do want to interview Rodan. Rodan sounds pretty chill. Sounds like a cool fire demon bird. Let's kick into the music real quick. This is for Elias, a friend of mine in Nashville, who's been going on some bad times. This was a song that he requested, one of the first requests I ever got. It is Symphony X with Set the World on Fire. You're listening to Mani's Rockin Conspiracies, only on 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University. And that was Empty Walls by Serge Tankian from his album Elect the Dead. Here on the craziest show in the mountains, Mani's Rockin Conspiracies. I do want to apologize really quick if the middle of that last segment didn't go out so well. It wasn't my best, and I'll do my best to not fumble over my words as often as that happened in that last segment. That was pretty bad. So I am very sorry if that quality of work was not the best that I put out there. I want to put out the best work for the station. So I'm very sorry about that. Hopefully you'll enjoy this next segment because we're still talking about the Chupacabra. Now, I want to conclude with one more thing, a very unique sighting, if you will. In Hood County, Texas, around 2010, local animal control officials claimed to have shot and killed an alleged Chupacabra. And on this website that I found this whole thing on, there's actually video of it. So I'm looking at the picture of this alleged Chupacabra, and it looks like a canine. So after they killed the alleged Chupacabra, Texas A&M students conducted a study, and they found that it's a coyote-dog hybrid. So that's a rather unique thing. It does look a lot like a canine, like a coyote, but also with the features of a dog. So at the same time, some believe that it's an alien creature. Maybe I'll hear about that on Ancient Aliens. The Chupacabra came from the aliens. The aliens brought down Chupathingy, and everything was just hunky-dory. Though there was a unique thing about the Chupacabra that I found when I was researching this. If you go search anything on Google or Bing, you will find a lot of suggestions, like questions, sort of like they'll link up articles or wikis from certain websites, and they'll link it into this whole thing. And the questions are like, what does Chupacabra mean in English? But one is, what can kill a Chupacabra? Now, some people said, this is something suggested by the Rational Wiki, which I believe is a joke website. Have your goat attack it. Have your goat attack it. I don't think that would work. Shoot it, of course. Convince it to join Rational Wiki. We don't believe they exist, so they will vanish in a puff of logic. The Chupacabra disappears with facts and logic. Set a troll against it. Send a Dalek after it. Now, I'm not sure if a human could send a Dalek after a Chupacabra. If you don't know what a Dalek is, there are these alien-like tanks in the series Doctor Who, and they will drive around going, Axe dominate, Axe dominate, Axe dominate, because they want to kill off the human race. So these are all some very unique suggestions, but I'm not sure if some of them may work. I mean, a Dalek. I'm sure the Dalek would turn on its human masters rather quickly. But that's just me. This concludes the first hour of the craziest show in the mountains, Mani's Rockin Conspiracies. Thank you for tuning in so far. Let's hope that the next hour is just as fun. And I hope you'll stay along with it, because don't touch that dial. The Illuminati knows if you have. So let's kick it back to the music. This is Deutschland by Rammstein. Ooh, I love this song. You're listening to Manny's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University.
Western Carolina University is WWCU Calloway, WWOO Dillsboro.
It's the 7 o'clock Numa here on the craziest show in the mountains, Manny's Rockin Conspiracies.
Hajduk Siterò iubira mea primește fericirea. Alo, alo, sunt eu, Picasso, ți-am dat bip și sunt voinic, dar să știi, nu-ți cer nimic. Vrei să pleci, dar numai ei, numai ei, numai ei, chipul tău și dragostea din tei, mi-amintesc de ochii tăi.
Always a blast, no matter how bad of a day I'm having. I'm Mani Jones, the crazy Derg, you know, here with Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, the craziest show in the mountains. Second hour, we're covering current news in the world of conspiracies and paranormal. I always like to go local first. So, there was a story I actually missed on one of my shows a couple weeks ago. So, I want to talk about it real quick because it relates to a current story, actually. From October 9th on Coast to Coast AM, Bigfoot prints found in North Carolina, and discusses a electrician by the name of Joe Scarborough, not related to Joe Scarborough of Morning Joe on MSNBC. He was working a job in the town of Caesar and noticed odd tracks outside the home he was working at. He initially thought that these tracks were of human, and he marveled to himself, somebody's got a Bigfoot. Huh? Though when he looked again at the tracks, he was struck by how big they were, noticing when he measured it that they seemed to be 13 or 14 inches long. Now, the good part about this is Mr. Scarborough got some pictures. So he took them, and they're pretty convincing. From the prints here and the Bigfoot cast that I was shown by Cryptid Guy when I met him, this looks pretty similar to a Bigfoot footprint, if you will. Now, because of this, Scarborough has somewhat become a Bigfoot hunter. He later said that he now plans to return, saying, I'm going to spend the night. I'm going to take some game camera and see what happens. I mean, why not? He does also hope that it really was a Bigfoot, though he did admit that there may be some shenanigans at play, later saying, quote, you don't know how many hoaxes are out there. Which is a good point because there are a lot of hoaxes. Last week we talked about Nessie, the surgeon's photograph, major hoax. Major hoax. So, how does this tie in to Bigfoot, my Bigfoot story for today? Well, rather, some North Carolina police officers actually found Bigfoot, though not the Bigfoot you may have found. The town of Linville in North Carolina made headlines late August because their Bigfoot statue, which stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, about as tall as I am, weighing 180 pounds, somehow was stolen from my landscaping company in Linville. Some thought that the statue was taken by some college students. Of course, they're going to blame us. Of course, they're going to blame us. As sort of a prank, if you will, though no one was ever found. Though the Avery County Sheriff's Office found out where it actually was. To quote them, a very alert young man stumbled upon the statue in a remote wooded area around 11 miles away where it once lived. Luckily, the statue was not damaged. Hold on. Which is a great thing because I'm looking at this picture of this statue right now. That's a pretty good statue. I like it. So, authorities theorized as to why it was not damaged, that either the thieves had a change of heart or found that having a Sasquatch was more difficult than they thought. Though I really wonder why it was just left in the woods. Like, that's a Bigfoot statue. I wouldn't be trying to leave that in the woods, you know? Though, of course, I, Mani Jones, do not endorse theft or any sort of crime at all that is punishable under our judicial system. It is very unique, though. A Bigfoot statue. Huh. That just sounds pretty cool to me. I would like one. A Bigfoot statue sounds awesome. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want a Bigfoot statue that's as tall as I am? But it is pretty good that this statue was found. And so it's good then, and hopefully it will come back to its location. They have now put the statue under the watch of a security camera at the sheriff's office, and that the insurance company of the original owner has paid the owner so that the determination will be made by the insurance company. So hopefully this statue will finally come back to its original holder. Let's get back to the music real quick. If you got any stories you want to submit for this week or next week, let me know at Manny Radio Derg on Twitter, Instagram, or you can give me a call. Let me know the story, and I may just find it for you. That's 828-227-7173. That's 828-227-7173. Queued up is, what do we got? We got Falling Away From Me by Korn. You're listening to Manny's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5. WWCU is Western Carolina University. Welcome to WWCU is Manny! This is Manny's Rockin Conspiracies, the craziest show in the mountains. I want to get into some listener feedback. My grandmother texted me after I mentioned my fan club of only cats, which is true story. Her cat will just sit there looking at her laptop, watching me on our studio webcam at WWCU-FM.com, and will just listen to my voice. She said, yes, Otis is hungered down at my laptop. He likes your voice. Ha ha. So the cats like me. I guess this means that the cats, which I guess are all spies and are plotting something, are watching me. I'm scared. I have to wonder now, I'm good. My buddy Paws the Cat, our lovable mascot here at West. I'm curious about him now. You want to know why? You want to know why I'm curious? He's a cat, and I know we all love Paws here, but I mean, come on. I have a feeling that while I'm sure he loves Mani Jones and Rockin Conspiracies, I bet he's a fan. Here's my problem. I have a feeling he may be spying on me. Paws, if you're listening, I'm watching you. Also, we had a call in from Grayson. He said, may I speak to the conductor? Now Grayson, I have some words for you. You'll never defeat the Manny Spirit. You'll never defeat the conductor. You'll never win. Whew. You want something? You want something, dude? When the Hulkster comes in with Mani Jones, yeah, I can tell you about your brother that he's not the Conductor brother. Dude, you better realize that. What you're gonna do, brother, when the Hulkster and Mani Jones run wild on you. Brother. I'm having way too much fun. Let's get back into our stories here for the current events. One that I found to be rather unique was regarding one of my favorite topics. The flat earth, which is a conspiracy about people believing that, of course, the earth is flat. This comes out of Malaysia. The astronaut Sheikh Muzaffar Shukor, he made history about 12 years ago. He became the first Malaysian to journey into space by way of 10 days on the International Space Station. Excuse me. It made him, as you might expect, pretty big in that country. But there were a lot of people who are contacting him saying the earth is flat. He posted on Instagram last Friday a glimpse of what he must endure on a daily basis. I'm one of the people saying, I know you've seen the flat earth and NASA's hiding. I bet that's what he sees. I bet that's what he sees. He then says that the critic declares that they are waiting for the astronaut to, quote, swear with the name of Allah that you really saw the earth as a sphere, saying that the astronaut didn't do so. He later said that the astronaut told the person that he does not, quote, simply use the name of Allah just to prove a point, later saying, if that is what it takes. Though he did say that he gets thousands of messages on social media from people asking him if the earth is flat. And many of them are just like the previous individual. They're pretty bold. He then said, quote, no matter how much I explain to them, I can never convince them. They are always sticking to their non-factual based evidence, which I find appalling. He then wrote in Malay, quote, in the name of God, I swear that the earth is like a spherical image seen by me in space. Now, I think the flat earth question is something going to become a big deal now. There was an astronaut from the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, who had actually asked about the flat earth. He, of course, said that the earth is round. But here's the suggestion for the people at the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. Why don't we take the flat earthers and take them into space? So I'm just thinking of Patrick Starr saying that, because there's one episode of SpongeBob where he's like, why don't we take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else? Because there's this giant worm that's threatening Bikini Bottom in that episode. So it makes me think of what if we took the flat earthers and pushed them somewhere else, pushing them into space? Not, of course, to harm them, but on a safe trip to show them that the earth is round. There actually is a stuntman, Mad Mike Hughes, who was trying to build a rocket to send himself into the atmosphere to prove that the earth is flat. I covered that on one of my first shows, so that's a classic story. But that's just one of the many stories that I have left, including if the Hong Kong protests were started by the CIA, gold and aliens. So there's a lot of very different conspiracies and news that I have to get to. So I'm actually excited. Rez just said to me, it's why space planes need to be a thing so the flat earthers can see for themselves. You know, if I remember Rez, I was watching a video once about the space shuttle, and I learned that when NASA originally planned the space shuttle, They wanted to do a whole lot of missions, private missions where they could send more people into space. But because of the heavy cost of the shuttle, they ended up just not doing it that often because it costs so much just to send them to space and then to send them back. It's a rather unique thing. So maybe when SpaceX or whoever it is comes around, maybe we'll actually get some flat earthers into space. But what, I can imagine that. I can't wait, in the future. I can't wait to go to Mars. Yeah, man, me too. Where are you going for? I can't wait to see the moons. The colonies there is just great. The food's great. Where are you going? I'm going to see if the Earth is actually flat. Let's kick it real quick back to the music. If you want to give a call in on anything, your calls unfortunately will not be on the air. But if you want to talk to me in the studio, I'm all alone here until Jim comes in for Mostly Blues from 8 p.m. to 11. Give me a call. 828-227-7173. That's 828-227-7173. It is October. Halloween's right around the corner. This is Halloween by Marilyn Manson. You're listening to Mani's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University. And we're back on WW. Wait, I got it again. Welcome to WWCU is Manny, baby. That should be a shirt. WWCU is Manny. I love that, actually. Raw is war. Raw is Jericho. See? Genius idea. I'm gonna just go and look into that. Anyway, I'm Mani Jones, the Crazy Dirk. On the craziest show in the mountains, Mani's Rockin Conspiracies. Oh yeah, on the conspiracy show, yeah. We're going to Reddit for our next couple of conspiracies. The subreddit r/conspiracy is where I find these. So if you're curious on what other conspiracies are out there, I'd recommend giving it a look. This post is a unique one called Gold and Aliens. I'm always drawn to the question of why gold has the value it does. I understand that it is malleable, shiny, and does not corrode, but it still seems odd that cultures all over the world valued it so highly. Then there is the theory that aliens came to Earth and created humans to mine gold for their atmosphere. What if these aliens taught us to value gold because it was or is important to them? Plus, it seems that there are always reports of gold missing from this vault or that bank. What if they are still here harvesting it? Some people are talking about how conductive gold is, the values of gold. What else? But this person is this person has an interesting theory too. Everything is a metaphor, literal and figurative. Remember, alchemy led to gold. It is the metaphor for the journey of the soul, starting off in ignorance and finishing in enlightenment. The subatomic structure of gold is coincidentally the same as the structure of the Merkaba, the vehicle used for ascension. Gold represents the golden age of humans. We are instinctually searching for enlightenment, the quest. It's rather unique. I'm just looking through these comments to see if I can find anything about gold, aliens and gold. I find it easier to believe that aliens created humans to invent Hold on. Hold on here. Hold on here. First, I have to deal with people believing I'm the conductor from the Polar Express. Then people say, I sound like Tom Hanks. Then I'm a Ned Flanders lookalike. And now, I, Mani Jones, The crazy dude you know is an alien? What? I just threw my hat down. I can't believe that. I'm not an alien. I'm not an alien. I'm not an alien. I'm from Earth. I was born in Clearwater. Florida. Please, I'm not an alien. Wait, that's just great. Guess what? Now the Men in Black's gonna come out to me. Wait a second. If we're all aliens, does that mean the Men in Black are also aliens? Dun, dun, dun. I don't know, but it's just... Now Mani Jones is a little spooked out. Let's try and calm down a bit with some music. This is the Last Stand by Sabaton. You're listening to Mani's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5. WWCU is Western Carolina University. And that was Ocean Man by Ween. Every time I play that, I flash back to my freshman year. We were doing a remote on the at the Killian Annex for Advising Day, which is coming up actually October 29th. Make sure you save that date, Catamounts. And our general manager, Travis Balger, looks at me and goes, "Manny, want to do some karaoke?" And I said, "Sure." And there is still video of me, at least a clip of me at least, singing Ocean Man. Life form raised in the sand, soaking up the thirst of the land, Ocean Man. Very, very fun song, no matter if I'm doing karaoke or not. Very fun song. Since it is Sunday, NFL Sunday, this conspiracy popped up on the subreddit r/conspiracy. Does anyone remember or have a link to the post on here a while ago? About 9 months ago to a year, the poster claimed the NFL was run by a bunch of Italian crime families. So some commentators say, one of them says, theory that the NFL is being used as a gambling racket by organized crime syndicates, referees in particular. Now, that's possible. There was a referee in the National Basketball Association, Tim Donaghy, whom was in a big gambling scandal many, many years ago. In fact, he gambled on the games he refereed, his own games. And there was a big article about it in ESPN that I recommend you read. It was it gave more context. I understood it better. Someone said it should be called National Football Entertainment because it's all rigged, every game. And we just eat it up. So I'm going to challenge this poster real quick. Listen. So you're saying that the NFL is scripted like WWE? Like, if it was, though, where's Jim Ross going, "Buck Gold, and you're going to touchdown, Buck Gold, King, touchdown, Chiefs"? Why don't we get that every game? I'll tell you right now, if that was every football game where they screamed their head off like Jim Ross on every touchdown, I would tune in every game. No matter what, every game. If every game was like that, that's called money right there. I just love that. We got one more conspiracy to go, but I'd like to take it back to the music real quick. This is You Spin Me Right Round, a cover by Dope. You're listening to Mani's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5 WWCU is Western Carolina University. It's that Mani guy, Mani Jones, here of Mani's Rockin Conspiracies. I got one more conspiracy and current event to go through tonight. This conspiracy poses if the Hong Kong protests were started by the CIA. Now, if you don't know what's been happening, there's been a lot of protests over the past couple of months in Hong Kong against mainland China. I'm not going to get too specific, but this person says, something feels really unnatural about how Americans are all on the same page about human rights all of a sudden. Nobody gives and that's an expletive I can't say, about genocides anywhere. I'm not convinced either way, but the constant focus on China just doesn't seem right to me. Now, some people say this. Hong Kong protests may not have been started by the CIA and their ilk, but there is no way that the CIA and friends are involved in the HK protests now. This new wave of protests in Chile, Hong Kong, and elsewhere are the new version of the Arab Spring. And there's a lot of more discussion regarding that because there's a lot of stuff going on there, mainly from the NBA. And a lot of Alex Jones as a dragon for some reason, which is there's a lot going on in the world, and a lot of conspiracies happening all over Twitter. There was one that I didn't mention on Twitter. You may have heard about it, but maybe I'll come to it next week. But let's get back to the music again. Thank you for tuning in so far. This is Hypnotize by System of a Down. You're listening to Manny's Rockin Conspiracies only on 90.5 WWCU Cullowhee. Rockin Conspiracies. It's been a blast hanging out with you for the past 2 hours. Thank you for tuning in, especially when I was talking about the idea that I am the conductor of the Polar Express. My only response to that is, well, are you coming? Thank you for tuning in to Manny's Rockin Conspiracies. Don't tune out just yet. Join Guitar Gym for Mostly Blues from 8 p.m. till 11 p.m. And don't forget, keep up with the show on social media at Manny Radio Dirk on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook, facebook.com/Manny Rockin. I'm Mani Jones, the crazy Dirg. You know, that's definitely not an alien, and definitely not the conductor of the Polar Express. Wishing you a happy week back from class.
Hillary Coffin, she's a little old vampire, belly goblin, hobbling around, chasing after your mama. Let's go give it to you. Subscribe for more. This is the motherfucking info war. We love our bodies, we love our Muslims.